Weather, storms and tornadoes. This first mod adds in some really realistic storms that can prove to be quite a threat even to those veteran Minecraft players. The storms are able to throw around blocks, leaves and other animal entities. Do not get caught in one of these. This mod adds in a ton of new sound effects and different particles to make feeling in a storm really realistic. Next up is a wall jump mod. This mod allows you to cling to walls, slide down walls, and do an epic superhero landing to break your fall. This is a really good mod for those who enjoy some parkour, can get you out of some very sticky situations. Although it's not completely realistic, I do really enjoy this mod and I think it would make a great addition for those who love Mirror's Edge or any other parkour game that's come out. Next up on the list is a realistic explosion physics mod. This adds a bit of realism to the explosions. Instead of completely removing blocks, it throws them in different and various directions with different velocities depending on the magnitude of the actual explosion. This looks really cool, especially if you have some underground explosions. It really makes it look like a wave and it ruptures. Really cool. Adds a nice little layer of realism to Minecraft. Next is the EpicFightMod, which turns Minecraft's combat style into more of an RPG style. This makes it so you have more slashes, you can roll, and you also have a little gauge that can fill up so you can do a special attack once it reaches 100%. This fight mode is toggled using the R key. As you can see, I'm trying to use it on various different mobs here. It also adds a variety of different swords, which is very cool indeed. I love this great sword. Definitely a great mod if you value combat in Minecraft and want to have a bit more mechanics to deal with, and also you can do some evasive rolls and some dodgings to add an extra layer of depth to your combat. Next mod is mcw-roofs. This just adds in some nice little roof blocks. It makes the roof seem a little bit more roofy and less blocky. As you can see, I'm using the realism explosion mod here as well along with this, and it turns out you can't actually destroy them with TNT, so yeah, they're indestructible, so that really adds a nice layer of realism, I guess. But they look really good, and they're really good if you want to make any big mentions or sprawling rooftops. It just adds a little bit more to Minecraft, makes it look a little bit different. Next up is the ElenaiDodge mod, and this just adds a nice little dodge mechanic into the game. If you hold down left alt and then your directional keys WASD, you'll dodge in that direction with a very short cooldown on it. This is good if you want to evade stuff, and it is pretty strong. You can see me kiting around these mobs. I would, if there was a way to tone this down, I would do, but there isn't. So it's a good mod to have, but it's not for everyone. I think it's really good for combat, and combined with some of the other combat mods we talked about in this little video, really good. Adds a nice extra bit of realism and can really add some self-expression in terms of skill into the game. Next up, you can see me showing off two mods, DynamicTrees and DynamicSurroundings. So DynamicTrees, to begin with, makes the trees a lot less blocky and makes them more tree-like, as in very narrow and stemmed. And this changes for the different trees within Minecraft. I really enjoy this mod. I think it looks good and really eliminate some of the blockiness in the landscape. And then next up, you can see we have extra particles that come down from the trees, and there's leaves and all sorts, which really adds a really nice bit of stuff to Minecraft. Like any smoke trails, any other particles will all just flow in the direction of the wind, and this really adds a layer of realism and makes the mod really stand out. Next up on this list is Rex's additional structures, which just adds a lot of different structures into the overworld of Minecraft. You can find houses, towers, little dungeon complexes. They're really good and adds a nice element of exploration into the game. They're not anything to write home about. There's some good loot in them, so if you find them, they're quite an advantage to have. But it just fleshes out the world a bit more, makes it feel a little bit more alive instead of just the box standard villages or mines that you can find in normal vanilla Minecraft. Next up is Animalium and the Champion mod. And this basically allows for a lot more mobs to be added into the game of Minecraft. You've got rats, wolves, bears, whales, everything. Just adds a lot more variety to the types of mobs that you can find in the game. And also the Champions mod basically randomizes the attributes for a mob and makes them into a little world boss that you can go out and find. A little bar will appear at the top of your screen and you have to go find them. And if you kill them, you get a lot of loot, and they're just really worthwhile to take down, which adds a bit more variety, adds a bit of randomness into Minecraft, and makes the game feel a bit more of an RPG style. Does it make it more realistic? Yes, the animals do. Championship, not so much, but then again, it adds also quite a lot of fun to the game as well. Next up, we have RTG, which stands for Realistic Terrain Generation, and basically makes the whole world of Minecraft seem a bit more realistic in terms of how it displays the landscapes and how they're generated. So as you can see, this looks more like a real world landscape that you would see rather than some of the weird stuff that Minecraft cooks up and then displays to you. Makes nice sloping plains, nice sloping rivers, mountains are more eased and graded out, and it just makes it a bit more realistic and adds a bit more. I'm not sure if I like this mod particularly. I don't think it adds much to Minecraft. I quite like the randomness of Minecraft's terrain generation, but if you like this style and like how it looks and want a bit more realism in terms of that aspect, definitely a mod for you. Next up, we have two mods here again, Hungering Darkness and Realistic Torches. So for realistic torches, you have unlit torches and you have to light them either with a matchbox, which is created with some wood and paper, or a flint and steel with some flint and steel. obviously. And when you light these torches, they give off a normal amount of light, but combining this with the Hungering Darkness mod, which makes it so that you take damage whilst in darkness, whilst this might not be realistic, I feel like it adds a realistic element to the game, because you actually would take torches everywhere you went in a dark area, so this then forces from a gameplay aspect for you to take torches everywhere you go, so that you have an extra thing to manage on top of hunger, sanity, with another mod, as you can see with the hotbar down below, and as well as with thirst. So you actually have to be aware of how many torches you have, and actually be very vigilant on where coal is and how much torches you can take when going through all these dungeons through the randomly generated mod. And the final couple of mods here, we have the tree chop mod, which basically makes sure so you can fell trees more accurately. They'll actually fall over and then give you the wood instead of just removing blocks. And this is also combined with the mod Serene Seasons, which adds seasons within the game of Minecraft. So as time goes on, the season will change from summer, autumn, spring and winter. The temperature also changes, which is then combined with this mod that we have here, which adds the hotbar on the bottom called Survival Included, which adds sanity, temperature and thirst. Sanity reduces when you're in the darkness too long, and also combined with another mod that we previously talked about, you also take damage. And then the temperature also changes within the season, so you've got to be aware of your surroundings, aware what season it is, and take appropriate clothing when you go adventuring outside. So basically it's just it's a much more easy version, a much more fun and enjoyable version than RL Craft, for those who want a bit more of a casual experience but still keeping that Minecraft core. All the mods are in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please subscribe and leave a like, and comment down below any ideas you have for any future videos, and I'll see you guys later.